This is Andrew for the Chosen Prime with a quick video review of a production sample version of MakeToys Striker Manus. It's the first release from their Cross Dimension line of figures. As you can see, he's a version of Optimus Prime, kind of done in their new this new universe that MakeToys has created. His code is MTCD01. Here you can see the figure. He's roughly Voyager size. Here's the box that he does come in. That shows off some different artwork and stuff. He does come packaged in a clamshell. Since it is a new universe here for Striker Manus in part of their cross-dimension line, he does come with a nice little comic book, and it actually explains inside that it kind of started their kind of mythology here is that it started as kind of a G1 kind of universe, but then Megatron and Optimus kind of broke the matrix, which then kind of splintered the universe, making this new versions of these kind of normal characters. And it's actually a pretty nice little book here, and you actually see there's actually some designs in here that might hint towards future toys. Here you can see that there's a MakeToys version of Jazz called Downbeat, and here's Gundog and Hellfire, previous kind of releases for them, so we might expect a Downbeat from or Jazz from here from MakeToys. And then here is some Seeker artwork. And what's interesting about their Seekers here is actually they have kind of dead Dinobot parts on them here. You can see parts of Swoop, parts of Grimlock, Grimlock's heads kind of here on Meteor's or Starscream's shoulder here. So who knows what they're going to quite do with this line here. In addition to the comic book, you do get actually a nice set of instructions here that are in color to explain how to transform him. In addition, he does come with an AR card here that you can use the MakeToys mobile app on your phone or tablet to scan and see the Megatron version from MakeToys, Deathmatron. You can see him both in his robot mode as well as gun mode, which is a nice counterpart to Striker Manus here. So let's go ahead and take a look at some close-up details here for Striker Manus. So Striker Manus here is definitely an interesting updated take on a kind of Optimus Prime figure. It's their own kind of unique design to the figure. It's definitely got the right homages to the character with the kind of the chest windshield here, which you can see a little bit of a matrix detail there, the head, the overall colors and look and feel, but it just feels kind of like almost like a futuristic kind of redo of it, which is kind of cool for their new universe. You can see some interesting details here, like he's got kind of double horns on his head here. These smokestack portions here are actually axes that you can remove and hold, and I'll show off in a little bit. But overall, in robot mode here, he's really clean, very, very solid plastic. The joints are not very loose at all. A lot of detail and care went into the engineering of this figure. And that's one of the kind of the things about this figure that's kind of unique about it, is it's almost like an action figure first. You get a extreme amount of posability and kind of playability out of the figure here, as well as being able to transform. As far as articulation, his head is on a very deep ball joint, so you have a lot of posability options there. You can get a lot of motive poses out of him. His eyes are painted a bright silver. There's no light piping. The shoulders here are on a base on a ball joint here. Then they also have a shoulder hinge at this point, so you got a lot of range there. Does have a bicep swivel. He does have double jointed arms or elbows. It looks like there's supposed to be a separate joint here, but it's just detail here. But again, you can still curl the arm most of the way double jointed. His hands here can rotate. The fingers, the bottom three fingers are on a pin, but then also the index finger is separate, so you can get him into some kind of finger pointing poses if you so choose. He does have a waist swivel. He does have a very deep ab crunch to let him kind of kneel downwards. Universal hips here in the legs, very strong joints, and again very posable. Double jointed knees, so you can get a very, very deep knee bend there, and he does hold it very securely. Again, the thigh swivel here at the kind of universal joint. As far as toe and foot articulation, it can pivot forward and back, so there's several kind of hinges here throughout, so you have a lot of range, and then also it does pivot quite deeply, so you can get some nice stable poses here for his feet, kind of however you choose. And again, it's a very stiff joint overall. And just the detail and the paint kind of across the figure are just really nice. Just all these little bits of silver, yellow, the clear chest. They've done a very, very good job here kind of showing him off and making this new version of the character. As far as weaponry for Striker Manus, he does come with a wind vane gun. It's very similar to the one that came with the original classics Voyager Optimus Prime. It's keyed to fit into his palm. There's kind of a slot, and you just need to make sure that you push the handle in. and it'll hold securely in the fist. And there you can see that he holds his weapon. It's got some nice detail to it. Additionally, if you want some bladed weapons, these smokestacks on his arms here can unpeg, and they have the similar kind of channel that meets up the hand. It's just a matter of kind of getting it pushed in here, and they will hold into the fist securely. You can see he's got some bladed weapons. And furthermore, you can take both weapons and combine them, and they will peg into each other just by locking in like this. And you can kind of have it so the Striker Manus here's got a kind of an overall kind of war blade. So you do have a lot of options here as far as Striker Manus. As far as overall posability, he is, again, designed to kind of be that really posable version of Optimus here. You get a whole lot of range as far as the posability with the character, and he holds most stances very well. Again, the ab crunch, rotation, head, just really cool. You can get him to into some nice kneeling poses if you like. Again, that's where this Optimus really excels. He's just a cool looking version of Optimus here. Just really nice, really cool. Just awesome looking version of the original G1 Autobot leader. So let's go ahead and I'll transform him into his truck mode here. Transforming Striker Manus is actually a little bit interesting. Transforming is different than most Optimus kind of transformations. There are a lot of locking tabs on him. Overall, as you're transforming him, which holds him together securely in both modes. In addition, you don't have to take off these axes, these smokestacks, as you transform him to truck mode. They will and can stay on as we go. But to begin, we want to come to these little kind of canisters here on his hips. We want to fold them down and out of the way. And next we come to the legs here, and the kind of the base of the leg here will shift outwards. You can see how it kind of shifts outwards, and we want to do that on both sides as we're transforming him. Want to come to the feet here. We want to hinge them down and outward like that, and then unpeg the front leg here and kind of get the leg ready to kind of fold up like that. So we'll come to the other foot. We'll just straighten it out. And then when you're first transforming them, most of these joints are going to be very, very stiff. So you'll have to kind of work at it, but it'll loosen up after your first transformation. So straighten out the foot, unpeg this kind of foot piece here. There's a double hinge. This great piece here, you want to fold this back and then kind of get this ready to go. Come to the legs here. The legs, this blue part, will hinge forward on top of it. And these pegs that are here into the legs can be very stiff the very first time. So again, pull outwards, kind of releasing the locks. You can see there's these two tabs that tab into his knee here. So you want to unpeg that, and then the entire lower leg will shift upwards onto further up the leg like that. Do that on both sides. Again, this can be a bit stiff, and just hinge them upwards. These little kind of crotch pieces here, these crotch flaps, you want to make sure that they are folded downwards like that. Come to the feet. On the bottom of the heel spur here, there's a tab that matches a hole on the underside. You want to kind of just move the wheels here so that it pegs into this spot. There's also now a tab here on the kind of the foot piece here that'll tab into the leg here. So we want to double hinge this kind of correctly like that, and then just a matter of just kind of pressing, and then it will lock in if you kind of get it hooked in correctly. You'll hear this nice click, and then there's the kind of the back of the truck mode there. So we'll come to the other foot, make sure that the gray piece here is now pegged into there, double hinge the foot forward, and again there's a tab here that'll tab into the leg at the bottom of the leg like that. Now we can take the two legs, and they will peg together in the center here as well as at the base, kind of making the back of the truck mode. Come to the upper torso here, lift up the arms so that they are pushed to the side like this, and lift up on the entire upper torso. So essentially the entire upper torso here will raise up and backwards on a double hinge here, which lets us now rotate the legs downward. So now that this kind of faux grill is now hidden against his backside, rotate the upper body here, take the head will, on this entire flap here, will unpeg and fold inwards, and then there's a tab that'll tab into that a hole here. Come to the front here. This is the actual car front grille. Want to fold this down. These two parts here are the front of the vehicle. we want to, they hinge downwards on kind of a double hinge, and you want to make it so that they kind of hinge down so that they fit with this channel kind of visible like that. So you may run into issues with them doing like this, and it's just a matter of kind of just working it and just rotating it down so that the wheels are like that. Come to the arms here, rotate them upwards, and open up this panel. Kind of lock into place, and rotate the fist into the inner arm. Don't close this part. This actually ends up being part of the truck mode. And so we'll come to the other side, open this up. It actually kind of locks into place. And again, fold the fist in. We want to now unpeg the gray part here from the shoulder from the robot mode, or from the truck cab here. You can see there's a tab and a tab place, and you can see the ball joint for the shoulder there. And we want to open up the ball joint, or the bicep here. And so this next bit's kind of tricky. We want to kind of rotate this entire piece downwards. This ball joint, we want to rotate this down and into the backside, while also kind of fitting the kind of hand area into, kind of similar to how MP10 works. And you kind of got to work it a little bit, and it will all kind of fit in there. And there is a peg that matches the peg hole on the back of the arm here. We want to make sure that that lines up. And similarly, there's a kind of tab on the waist here that matches that little panel for the arm that we want to make sure it lines up. And you can kind of see how that all lines up. So we'll come to the other side. So again, unpeg it from the side here, bend the elbow, and unpeg it from there. So we have access to this panel. Again, make sure that this panel is open. Again, this is a bit tricky. It's easier to do when you're not filming it. We want to just kind of collapse it back into the vehicle mode. Again, tabbing onto the back of the canopy with that peg that's there, coming underside and making sure that this is pegged in. And just overall kind of making sure that this all sandwiches correctly. And really make sure everything is lined up. I'll go ahead and repeg in the smokestack. This panel here will slide backwards, and you'll make sure you slide it back all the way. And there is a tab here that matches the tab hole on this panel. It's just a matter of kind of lining it up and pegging it in together. Just work it a little bit, push it down. You can see there's the side of the truck mode mostly done. Slide this panel back again. It won't raise up fully unless you push it all the way back. And again, just make sure that you kind of collapse it all, and then it'll hold all together once we get everything kind of lined up correctly. This grill part right here, we'll just kind of move forward and collapse on that. We're almost done. These canisters are on his hips. You can see there's a tab slot in the canister that matches this tab on the kind of arm panel. We want to just rotate this forward and make sure that they fit in the panel like that. You want to do that on both sides. This part can also be a little bit tricky because it's meant to all lock in together securely, but kind of getting it all folded in can be a bit tricky. So the final thing we need to do here is this panel on the leg here will unpeg from two spots, and it can be a bit stiff. And you can see there's a hinge there, and it'll hinge forward, and there's a tab at this spot that'll tab into that hole there in the red, as well as this tab here in the blue will tab into the canister, and there's also a little tab kind of hidden here. And so this part, again, can be a bit tricky to kind of get it in there your very first time, but it will all sandwich and lock together and kind of fill out all that space there. So we'll do that on the other side. Just kind of loosen this, hinge it forward, and then make sure that all three of those tabs line up correctly and sandwich down, and it'll sit mostly flush and hold securely. Just a matter of kind of getting everything lined up, because it does lock him securely into place. Now we can come take the wind vane gun, fold in this front part of the cannon, slide it backwards, open the canopy here, slide the gun kind of backwards, and the handle will fit this way. And there's kind of the top of the wind vane, and this will just slide in on top of the vehicle, and then it'll all peg in. And there is Striker Manus in his kind of Cybertronian truck mode. Very cool looking, lots of nice detail. So we'll take a closer look. Taking a look here at Striker Manus in his vehicle mode, you can see that it is a very kind of cool, interesting take on an Optimus Prime truck mode. Very Cybertronian in stature. Not much robot mode showing. They've done a lot of good work here of kind of hiding the robot, making sure that it all pegs together. Interesting detail here, like hiding all of the different wheels. You get some nice silver detail and paint kind of throughout. Nice blue windshield here. The wind vane, it's got some nice detail. The smokestacks look nice and they peg in securely. Just a really cool looking version here of Optimus. Pretty clean undercarriage here, and overall just really neat. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look at some comparisons here for Striker Manus. Robot comparisons to some other Optimus Prime. So here's Striker Manus next to the original Voyager class Classics Optimus Prime from 2006. And here's Toy World's Orion, which is more of a take on the IDW comic version of Optimus Prime. You can see how much taller Striker Manus is compared to that original Voyager figure, how more detailed it is, but how it still has all the same kind of nice deep red, nice blue, overall deco and kind of design across all the Optimuses here, with a lot of nice detail added here on Striker Manus with the wheels and the arm detail and such. It's just a nice kind of update on Optimus Prime while still being a nice homage of Optimus Prime here in robot mode. Truck mode comparisons. Again, you can see these roughly the same size as Classics Prime, both as height as well as length. And he looks good here amongst the other Primes, being this nice Cybertronian take, alternate universe take here on Optimus Prime, with all the right colors, details, and kind of overall deco. And another quick robot mode comparison. Here we've got more of a recent figure. This is Combiner Wars Motormaster. He's a Voyager class figure. There was a redeco of him in Optimus Prime. And so you can see that Striker Manus here is roughly that newer Voyager scale. But definitely with more detail, more paint, more posability, and overall just a lot more kind of heft and updated design compared to retail figures. Truck mode comparisons. You can see that Striker Manus here is a Voyager class truck when put side by side here with Motormaster, and does look like a nice Voyager class version of the Cybertronian Optimus Prime here in his truck mode. Before I get to my final thoughts, I do want to show off one extra bit of posability that I came across as I filmed this review. He's got an additional joint here on the arms, so if I actually move his arms forward, you can see this red panel here moves forward, so he can almost cross his arms now and kind of do other additional poses. So he's got even a bit more motion than you can do with that additional joint here. And it's yet again, it shows off how well MakeToys did designing this new updated take on Prime here in Striker Manus. From the plastic, the paint, the engineering, the posability, I mean, this figure is just kind of just amazing to kind of see in hand. I don't know if pictures really do him justice. Getting him in hand now, it's just really cool to see and kind of mess with this figure. He's a unique take on Prime here, and you do get all the great posability, plastic paint, and just fun from this figure. He really is kind of a great transforming action figure version of Prime here. This again is a production sample, which essentially is what we'll be getting once he finally does get to retail. We're expecting to get Striker magnets here in stock at the Chosen Prime by the end of September. If you like what you've seen, if you like Prime, if you like what MakeToys has done in the past, you really can't go wrong picking up this variant of Prime. He's just a really fun toy to kind of play with and pose on your desk. So he does come recommended, so take care.